Hey everyone, welcome back to DemDMs. My name is Matt.
I'm Panda Ghost.
And I'm Fox Ghost.
And today we're going to be reviewing all the news and discussion that came out of the Wizards Presents stream from August 18th. So if everybody's ready, let's slide on in. All right, so we're going to kind of go through this kind of step by step and try to discuss each of the little things that came out. Obviously, not everything has a lot of information about it yet, so some of these we might just be kind of announcing and going through it. I watched the entire stream. I know both you two did not, unfortunately, get the chance to watch it, so this is going to kind of be your first real dive into this, and I'm going to kind of walk us through all the stuff that came up. Just a note, we're not going to be talking about Magic the Gathering because we don't care about Magic the Gathering.
Well, not here at least.
Not on this channel. So, but we also are going to probably be maybe putting out some companion videos going in the future for some of the stuff to maybe expand on it more when more things are revealed. So make sure you subscribe to our channel and press the notification bell to be notified when those videos come out. But we're going to start off with the first thing that they announced, which was D&D, which is the kind of new push that they're going to be making here as a possible 5.5 or new update to the 5th edition rules. Now this was described as having almost like a three-pronged attack. They are going to be updating the player's handbook, DMG, and monster manual in 2024. And up till then, they're going to be doing a play test through UA, the Unearthed Arcana, and D&D Beyond, and putting out kind of month-to-month updates to it that people can play test and give back their feedback. And that'll kind of all culminate in these three books. The idea is that this is supposed to be backwards compatible, whatever that means. We still kind of don't really know. From the little bit that I've delved into the playtest itself, since it is now live on D&D Beyond, at least the first section of it, it seems like there's maybe going to be some things that I feel like you're really going to have to clarify with your players what version you're using, but you should possibly be able to use like the adventures and things like that as 5th edition materials. The next thing that they're going to be doing as part of this one D&D is kind of just reaffirming their stance with, purchasing D&D Beyond through the use of what they're going to be doing now, which is these bundle packages where you can buy both the physical copy of the book and the digital copy on D&D Beyond with possible, limited packages and things like that for, alt covers and things of that nature. So in that way, it'll all be kind of put into your compendiums on D&D Beyond.
Now, did they say if they might be sending out physical books to people that have already bought all their books, like me, on D&D Beyond?
I don't think that's going to happen. What I would like to maybe see is maybe some means of, at least in the new printings of the books, to maybe add some sort of QR code to do that, or at least get a discount on D&D Beyond. I know this is something that people have been asking for a while, and I think this bundle is possibly a step in the right direction. I think what this bundle is going to do is kind of limit outside sales of these products. You're not going to go to your local game store and buy this, because why would you? You can get the digital copy on D&D Beyond as well as the physical copy. So
so they're actually going to ship, like, when you buy the book on D&D Beyond, they're going to ship you a book and you get immediate access to the digital. Oh, okay. I was thinking it was the opposite, where you go to the store, you buy it, and then they, in the back there's a slip of paper, like in the Essentials kit. Yeah, the Essentials kit, there's a slip of paper with a code that you typed in for D&D Beyond.
I mean, there's no reason why they can't continue that.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, this is all early days discussion of this, so this could be something that they have planned in the future. But as far as releases for this, the one of the releases that's coming up, and we'll talk about it when we get to it, is going to be the kind of the first test of this new way of doing things. So we'll see kind of how that comes about and what all you can do there. I do know that from pre-ordering the new book as part of this bundle, you do get early access to things on D&D Beyond that you otherwise would have to wait a couple of weeks for it to come out as part of the pre-order. So there is that. The final thing with 1D&D that we're going to talk about is they're going to do exactly what we said we wanted them to do or thought what they were going to do, which is they're going for a VTT, virtual tabletop.
Yes. Oh boy.
I mean, that was pretty obvious that they were going to try and do
exactly.
that, right? I mean,
you're again with the idea behind this 1D&D to kind of bring everything in D&D under one roof again.
One D&D to rule them all.
Exactly.
One D&D
it kind of makes sense. Now, what is interesting is this is more of like a 3D virtual tabletop using the Unreal Engine. So what does excite me about that is, unlike Roll20, you might be able to do elevation a lot easier on that.
That'd be nice.
Which would be really interesting. Now, I don't know any means of like, how much, is it going to be subscription based? How much is that going to cost?
Probably.
Do you have to have some sort of pairing with that with D&D Beyond, in which case you'd need the books in both D&D Beyond and that, or will you just get D&D Beyond books and then it ports over there? Who knows? This is all, again, very early days. I think there's still an alpha for this, so we'll probably be getting a whole lot more information as time goes on.
Oh, imagine if you used like Hero Forge to make your character by the STL file and then be able to import it into a 3D VTT. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, now it does sound like they're talking about kind of doing similar to Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds, putting out a set with an adventure, right? So when an adventure comes out, they'll make a new map package or whatever, and then you as the DM are going to be able to use those features and others to customize them for your own games, is kind of what they're talking about here. So I'm interested to see what all that entails. I think they're going to quickly eclipse Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds. I think the only thing that could maybe keep them afloat is if if this new system is not free. Right? If it's not free, Roll20 will eke out a little bit because it'll be the free version of it. You know what I mean? Which, again, I mean, Roll20 itself as a free version is still pretty good. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but they're just gonna keep bleeding users. Like everyone that subscribes to to Roll20 is gonna slowly transition over to the new VTT. Then the free people won't be it'll be a downward spiral, right? Because I don't think Roll20 can subsist only on free users, right? Like
exactly.
It's not. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. But we'll have to see again, it's still pretty early days. We'll have to see what they come out with. Moving on from the 1D&D, unless you guys wanted to talk more about that, I think we can move on to the next thing, which is the announcement for the release that's coming in December, which is the Dragonlance adventure, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. I unfortunately have not really played in Dragonlance before. I've heard really good things. I know a lot of people really love the books and the setting that it's in. I'm excited to, obviously get another adventure. I think that's always a highlight of my year.
Did they say what level it goes to?
They did not. I heard some differing opinions in the space. I don't know. We'll have to see. I do know that this is going to be, as we talked about before, the first iteration of the bundle set that's going to be releasing on D&D Beyond. With that, they are going to do, it's kind of weird, they're announcing that this is going to be kind of somewhat partnered with the Dungeons & Dragons Warriors of Krynn board game that they made, which is kind of like a war gaming board game thing that they're going to kind of use as a option for DMs to handle mass combat, it sounds like. That might come up in Dragonlance, because Dragonlance is all about never-ending war and all these things.
Gotcha. I don't know much about Dragonlance, but the sound of the campaign just sounds like the Tiamat campaign. I mean, I'm sure it's totally different, but like on its face,
Yeah.
Hopefully that goes over well with people that are, the younger crowd that's not as well versed with Dragonlance.
Sure. Yeah, I mean the artwork for it does kind of show off Lord Soth, which for those who know, Lord Soth is a Death Knight based in that world, and he, much like a lot of people in that world, is a dragon rider. So that might get interesting. And I think the alt cover almost exclusively only shows him. So I imagine it has something to do with that. And if you're dealing with Lord Soth, I gotta imagine it's a higher level adventure. Like that, you can't deal with him at level 8. You know what I mean? So hopefully they take that into account. We'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, it'd be really nice if they decide like not to do the whole, oh, here's a little adventure that'll take you from first to third that nobody ever likes. Right?
Yeah, one that probably, it starts at level 10 and goes to like 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Starts at level 5. That would be great.
Yep. But we'll see what comes out with that. Again, that is coming out December 6th as the announced date for that. The next thing that they did in this stream, which is actually a first for Wotc, was they announced their slate for the entirety of 2023 in terms of their book slate. Obviously, the merchandise that they put out every now and again, and maybe a few other small things might still come up throughout the year, but their main stuff they did announce, which is a first thing for them. And I do think that is leading to a lot of transparency that WotC doesn't do, as well as it's almost a smart business model because you're announcing stuff that people can get ready for.
I mean, video games have been doing that for how long at this point? I mean, they're kind of
it just makes
behind
sense.
the curve here.
Yeah,
but it's good that they're doing that finally.
Yeah, I mean the Dragonlance one, I think just got announced like timeline today, and I mean they announced that something was coming with Dragonlance, but they never really explained it until today, and it's coming out in December. Like that seems a little short.
Yeah.
But from this, we know the names and kind of the gist of some of the things coming out in 2023. So the first thing up is Keys from the Golden Vault, which is another anthology book similar to Tales of the Unnamed Portal and Ghosts of Saltmarsh and things like that. But this one exclusively focusing on adventures based around heists.
Hey, that's my cup of tea right there.
Yeah.
Sneaky boy.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think one of the more successful adventures that they've had was Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and a lot of that is due to the heist nature of the game. And I think that would do well in a book series. I think it's obviously different than what they've done, and I think it allows maybe the same kind of thing that we've seen from a lot of these anthologies where DMs can take that and throw that in their own games and do that. And maybe if they come up with some interesting, like different mechanics and things like that, that could be more heist related, those could also be imported over. So that's
it. Be nice.
That is announced for winter 2023. So probably January and February.
Yep.
In the
maybe early March.
Yeah. Yeah. The next thing that they announced is Bigby Presents Glory of the Giants. Now, for those who kind of are UA hounds, this is why you're seeing a lot of Giants stuff on UA right now. That's probably what is all building up to. This is going to probably be similar to the concept of Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Okay, so that's going to be all, giant magic, giant magic items, alternate giant stat blocks and things like that.
Giant races?
Possibly. I mean, we might get some interesting subclasses from it. That would be neat. I mean, they did put out Rune Knight in Tasha's, which would actually have gone really well with this, but neither here nor there. So that'll be interesting. I'm excited for that. The next one, Bigby's was going to be in the spring.
Okay.
For those that are wondering. The next thing announced for the summer of 2023 is a Phandelver campaign. Now, for those of you who have watched a number of our videos, I love Lost Minds of Phandelver.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait, I know the name. I'm like, why am I drawing a blank here?
Yep. So that was the adventure from the original starter set. I believe Wizards is kind of phasing that version of the starter set out a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I believe it's because they're attempting to do this, which is they are going to expand Lost Minds of Phandelver, or at least the story that was written in that, and make it a full campaign. And I think that is fantastic. I think if they can do it well, it'll work out pretty well. I also, right now, Lost Minds of Phandelver on D&D Beyond is free for people to download. So it would be interesting if it's more of an expansion rather than a complete rewrite or whatever they're going to do.
My guess is that it's a complete rewrite, because if they were doing an expansion, you think they would be trying to promote the starter set, because you would have to buy the Lost Minds Phandelver in order to run the expansion. But if they're trying to get rid of the old starter set, they're probably doing a partial rewrite. I'm sure there's things in there that they want to be able to like have hooks that expand it out to later levels.
Sure. Now, I know that a lot of people use Lost Minds of Phandelver as kind of a start for a lot of other adventures that start at low levels, because those low levels generally aren't that great. And Lost Minds of Phandelver does a good job. I'm excited to see if they can maybe still kind of show the line in the sand where people could be like, hey, you could follow up something else, or here's an alternative, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I doubt they're going to do that, but...
Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yes, but very excited for that. It's one of the ones that I think on this list that I'm the most excited for. Again, it's another adventure, and always nice to have another adventure. The next thing on the list, which is slated for fall of 2023, is the Book of Many Things. Now, there's very little kind of described about this one. It said that they kind of pulled from the themes behind the Deck of Many Things. So I'm assuming that means possibly a magic item compendium, or something akin to Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, where maybe it's new subclasses and new magic items and new spells. Who knows? That'd be really interesting.
When I think book, I think spell tome. So it could be maybe an expanded spell list. I don't. Maybe like a complete spell list and maybe magic. I don't know. That'd be.
Yeah, I think it's been a while, obviously, now since Tasha's even came out, and I could see them going for a new set to put out subclasses and things. Or maybe at least pull in ones from other books that have kind of been outside of the core that they've been trying to do. But
maybe some new magic-based subclasses, like
maybe
to help with some magic for the martial classes.
Yeah, I forget where it was that I think there was announced I forget which one of these books it was in, to be honest with you. But one of the things was announced was a new sorcerer subclass based around moon and things like that, which would be interesting to get into. But very cool. I think it's going to be interesting depending on what they do, because obviously that's very close to when your new core set's coming out. So I would imagine they're kind of having that in mind with all of these, of like any changes that we make, these need to be able to fit. You know what I mean? Right. So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. The last thing on the list is Planescape. Now, for those who don't know, Planescape is a campaign setting, mainly kind of focused around the other planes of existence outside of the material. This, I believe, from everything that they're saying, is possibly going to be a campaign setting based in the city of Sigil, the city of Doors, and the further multiverse, which, to be fair, there's not a whole lot written about the other planes of existence in any of D&D right now. We can maybe get some more information about other planes that aren't as found, like Mount Celestia, know, some of the more neutral planes, or even, going back to kind of expanding upon the lower planes of existence, and dealing with planar travel, because that's always something people have a question about. So, but that is about it for what they've announced. Now, there was more put out today. Obviously, like we said, the UA playtest for 1D&D did come out today, the start of it. So we're going to be looking into that and possibly doing a video off of that. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss that video. Also, leave a like on this video to let us know that you enjoyed this. And put down in the comments what you think you were most excited by from this list of things. I think to close this one out, I just want to go through each of you guys and see what was the top thing that you seem to be most excited about from that list.
Probably for me, it has to be the VTT, right? Like it just has to be. Too bad it's not coming out sooner. It'd be nice to have for my campaign, but oh well.
Yeah.
For me, it's probably the what was it called? Golden Keys.
The keys from the Golden Vault.
Yes.
The heist anthology. Sure.
Yeah. I like the anthology style stuff, and I like heists, so it's like right up my alley.
Yeah, I think for me, I already said it. I think the most exciting thing is probably the Phandelver campaign. I'm excited to see what they do with that, and I am excited to have the Lost Mines of Phandelver kind of get the treatment it deserves, because it is, in my opinion, one of the best adventures in D&D 5e right now. Not the best, but one of the best. So yeah, but just make sure you stay tuned. We're probably going to be coming into some of that stuff coming up. So until then, join us next time we slide into DemDMs. All right, guys. Here we go.
Bye.